And we're back.
3, 2, 1, and we're back. I'm burping.
I'm yawning, so please
Dylan's
excuse me.
dragging himself across the floor, so we're in for a real treat.
Don't mind me. My partner's been getting up at 5 a.m. and waking me up when they do. Not loving that for me. But I'm here. I'm excited. I'm ready to rock and roll.
She's here, guys. She's here.
She's quit. Sorry.
Okay, so you talked to Mary Shelley. I touched Bram Stoker on Bram Stoker. I touched on Bram Stoker. And who's next for you?
Well, I was going to jump right forward and talk about a few icons that people are going to know.
Yay!
People are going to know and love. So, the Scream franchise.
Yes, my favorite. I was 1996. I was 10, 11 years old. I don't know why that math was really hard to work out. And were they 9? Oh, fuck. Anyway, I was a baby and I loved it. Loved it, watched it, loved it.
Watched all of them since.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoy them. Kevin Williamson.
Yes.
Creator of Scream. Writes Scream. He also wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer. You know him from, yes.
Excuse me, I have something to say.
Yeah.
He wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer before he wrote Scream.
That is a misconception. Apparently, he wrote Scream, and then someone came to him and said, do a treatment of I Know What You Did Last Summer, the book, because we like this take on it.
God damn it.
I know, I'm really sorry.
I hate it when you fact check me.
My bad. Anyway.
To be fair, you do the research. I just show up on my own show and be like, hey, guys, let's talk about things.
Legit, every time I come on your show, I'm like, here's my 6 pages of research and 12 different links. Like, you're like, calm down. It's a lot. You're being a lot. I'm like, I know. I'm sorry. Thanks. So, yes, Kevin Williamson.
Yes.
Creator of Scream. Know What You Did Last Summer. Vampire Diaries. Dawson's Creek. The Following. Many, many good things. He also did treatments on a bunch of different scripts in the 90s for horror and slasher, including Halloween H2O, which I think is a bit of a classic 90s style slasher.
It definitely is in
it's been retconned.
Time.
Yeah, it's been retconned. It's gone now.
Also,
series, but
Michelle Williams.
I loved her in that. So, yeah, he is obviously well known for a lot of amazing 90s stuff. He kind of reinvigorated the slasher genre in the 90s because horror movies had gotten pretty shit prior to Scream. Like, slashers were not doing well. People were very sick of it. And Scream was very meta. It was very kind of like clever, fast, witty dialogue. In Scream, like, Kevin Williamson was a gay out man writing horror, and good for him. He did an amazing job. In Scream, there are a couple of really amazing queer-coded kind of things that came up. The original Scream, obviously Billy and Stu was so fucking gay. And it was so obvious to me. Like, it just came right across, hey. And there's a moment where, like, Stu is taunting Ricky. Is it Ricky? What's the name of the guy that Jamie something plays? You know, in the original Scream? Randy, not Ricky.
Not Ricky, right. Randy.
So he's taunting Randy in the video store and he's like playing with his earlobe.
Yes.
It's so gay. Straight men do not come up behind men and go, what are you doing? Like, that's fucking gay. And then in the final, you know, obviously, like in that final.
I was just like, I wish they would.
Straight man, come on, Shaun. Play with his earlobes. He loves that.
Never mind.
And in that, you know, final kind of like monologue and breakdown of everything, you get a sense that they've planned this murder together. And the whole inspiration for those two characters and planning the murder together actually came from real life, from the Leopold and...
Not that Kate and Leopold movie with...
and Loeb. No. Leopold and Loeb in the 1920s were these two gay lovers that killed a boy because they wanted to get away with murder. They thought they were smart enough to do it. So they, got this younger boy and they murdered him pretty brutally. And it's a horrible story, but it was part of the inspiration for Scream because that's what they're doing. They're getting away with murder. And they're very much coded as lovers. You get this sense that, Billy's got this other reason, this personal reason, which is that,
his mother,
Sydney's mother.
Yeah.
Sydney's mother had fucked his dad, and then his mother had run away. And there's a whole
Sydney,
lot of Norman Bates vibes in that.
Your mother's no Sharon Stone.
Yeah, she's no Sharon Stone. We did her a favor. So, it was very, all of that is misogynistic. It's like queer coding with misogyny, which happened a lot early on, I think. But it's also just this weird, there's definitely this weird kind of love.
And seems very much like I'm not going to go there. It seems very much like Stu is very much into Billy more than Billy might be into Stu.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of that, but I think Billy is a bit repressed and Stu is a bit more comfortable. And you get the sense, there's that scene where they are stabbing each other and
not that way, boys.
It's weirdly homoerotic, though. It is weirdly homoerotic. There's a kind of intimacy between them. There's to get involved in that and decide to kill people together. I kind of feel like Billy decided they should do it, and Stu was like, "Whatever you want, babe." There's that. There's that there.
Yeah, I'll totally kill my girlfriend Rose McGowan, Sean's good friend Rose McGowan.
Yeah. Sean has met Rose McGowan.
Sean has drank with Rose McGowan. We partyed. Great gal.
Partook and
partyed. Love her. She can do no wrong. I don't care what you say. Also, just on it, Tatum's death. The most iconic death scene.
You haven't got anything like that in future slashes. That is a fucking moment. And she's very bitchy. And so is, Courtney Cox's character, the Gail Weathers character. That is the kind of bitchy queens that we love to see as well as a queer community. We really enjoy seeing that.
Don't get me wrong. I would have been okay if Sydney died in the first movie and Tatum lived.
Yes, I would have been fine with that.
Same with Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love too. Everyone knows I love Jennifer Love.
Was so good in that though. Her death scene.
It was, the fact that she was so good. And the fact that
we're talking about, I Know What She Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But that whole, the chase scene and she fucking fought up for herself. Yeah. And
It's amazing. And that character too, and I Know What She Did Last Summer, Sarah Michelle Gellar's character, she's meant to be kind of the bitchy pretty one. But the way that it's played, there's so much heart in it. It's so, she's such a nice person. And at one point she says to, what's the other one's name? Jennifer Love Hewitt. Her character, she says to her character, I miss us. We used to be friends. And she's like, yeah, well, we used to be a lot of things. She's all hardened by dealing with it all.
Yeah.
It's so nasty because there's so much to like in Sarah Michelle Gellar's character in that. Helen is just this poor girl who she was, hot shit and the big fish in a small pond. She goes to
and now she's kind of been humbled.
Work out. Yeah, she's humbled. And we actually have a redemption arc for her in that movie. When she dies, more people are upset about that than they would have been if you had killed Julie, which is Jennifer Love Hewitt's character.
Oh, yeah, I do love Jennifer Love Hewitt too, though.
I love her as well.
I'm here for my screen queens.
Yeah, me too. And we do love screen queens. We love a final girl. I think that it appeals to the feminist kind of streak in the queer community. We get it, we understand, and we want someone who fights because we've had to fight. We know that. So yeah, there's obviously in Scream and Kevin Williamson, there's a lot of amazing queer coding. We've got some queer characters in the new one, in that requel, which is Scream 5, but they just call it Scream. And then you've also got Don Mancini, who I'll talk about. He is the creator and writer of the Chucky series.
Yeah, so tell me, because I haven't seen the Chucky series.
Okay.
I do know that Devon Sawyer is in the Chucky series, though.
The newest one,
who is
series.
Casper.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. He's having a bit of a comeback, and good for him. Love that.
I've followed him on the gram for years.
Yeah, I had a crush on him when I was.
We all had a crush on him when we were 9.
When he was Casper,
it was so cute. It was an unspoken thing.
And then, because Christina Ricci and him.
Well, it was unspoken, right? So little gay Shaun he was there. He was doing his thing. And
he was being small and gay.
He's being small and gay and keeping to himself, so nobody knew. Don't pay attention to me. No, that's not true. I was a bit of a clown sometimes. But my sister and her friends loved Wild America, loved. She's playing with the dog, guys. Don't worry. Don't forget you on camera. But yeah, so like my sister and all her friends had these like big crushes on Devon Sawyer, and they would watch now and then. And you know the scene where the girls. It's Sawyer for me. Anyway, but the girls had big crushes on him, and so we would watch all of the movies together because there's only 15 months between my sister and I, and so close. And then there was the scene now and then where the boys are all skinny dipping. Hello, and then the girls run away with all their clothes on their bikes, and like I remember my sister and her friend Michaela. Hi, Michaela, pausing
to see the boys'
bums.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay.
I'm happy to see that.
I'll sit here and watch that.
Let's pause. I like that.
And then at the same time going, stop it.
Stop it.
But don't stop it.
Don't stop.
Anyway, so yes, the Chucky series.
So Don Mancini, who's the writer and creator of the original Chucky series, and he's writing the new ones now, and I think he got to direct one of the movies. So Chucky starts off in 1988 with Child's Play.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting and weird concept, but let's be real, it's fucking high camp from the start. We're talking about a doll that comes to life because this serial killer has like transferred his soul into the doll's body and he's going to murder people.
To do regular funny, Saturday.
And it's good and it's like all the fun things. But the Chucky series in the first 3 Child's Play movies is much more your kind of slasher horror movie. It's a similar storyline. He's trying to get like into someone else's body. But when we get to the 4th one, which is Bride of Chucky, it's 1998. The series is resurrected because people are really enjoying this kind of like campy meta humor. Chucky has become this icon for the goth community. And it's just like it comes back in this fully meta way. It's very camp. It's over the top. Jennifer Tilly comes on board. She's going to be part of Chucky.
Jennifer Tilly.
And she's amazing in it. And she gets put into that body and then she does a full kind of doll makeover, which is insane and wonderful. And the whole thing is much more kind of like high camp. It's really fun. And then from there, they do Seed of Chucky, which is where they've had a Chucky baby doll that is not identifying as either a boy or a girl. And it was handled poorly at the time because it was 2004, 2005. And John Mancini is a part of the queer community, but I don't think that he necessarily had enough of an understanding to portray what was a genderqueer character in an appropriate way. But now, in Cult of Chucky and in the new series, there's a much more...
Hold that thought. We're back after this short break.
Boys, go to bed. Dexter, go to bed.
I've given up on them.
Go to bed.
It's all her now.
Dylan, go to bed.
Try bedtime.
Bedtime. Bedtime, Dylan. Bedtime. Bedtime.
Some call her the puppy master. Oh, that's why they're barking. The neighbors are getting out of their car.
Oh, how dare they?
How rude.
Yeah, so coming into like the new series, you had Seed of Chucky, then you have Cult of Chucky, and then the series, the Chucky series. So in Cult of Chucky, there was one just before that as well that I can't remember the note of. But in Cult of Chucky, he takes over the body of Nika, who's this woman.
Right.
So he comes out of the mental institution as Nika, this is the Chucky guy. He comes out in her body. He and Jennifer Tilly just get straight back to it, you know. So we immediately have 2, you know, bisexual characters. We have a genderqueer character in a way because he's within that body, existing comfortably in it. And then you have the series, which incorporates all of these characters, plus they're bringing back the child of Chucky, which was Glenn or Glenda, a nod to the original 1950s film by Ed Wood, Glenn or Glenda, about the man who went through his sex change.
Oh, yes.
Was. So really interesting. And they actually got Lachlan Watson to play the Glenn and Glenda characters in the new series. And Lachlan Watson is the non-binary actor who was in
Oh.
Sabrina, who played Theo.
Oh,
and
yeah.
previously to that, I can't remember what the name was before, but it was Theo.
Yeah.
So they've done a good job working through and bringing their representation and bringing the way that they're writing these stories about the queer community and with queer characters more up to date, which is really interesting to see. It also means that Chucky has now become like a queer ally because he has a, genderqueer child and has also been existing in a woman's body comfortably. And, it's just interesting to see what Don Mancini is doing with that because that's quite unusual. And it's interesting too to know that two of our biggest franchises from the 90s, Scream and Chucky, are both queer creators.
I mean, don't want to be that guy, but I feel like the queer community create the most interesting things.
Obviously. Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, look at us.
Examples.